What if the stars above you were not just lights, but a story waiting to be told? Tonight, we drift through the Milky Way, soft and calm, a spiral of light that has turned for billions of years. Close your eyes. Let the galaxy become your lullaby. Across the sky runs a glowing river, the Milky Way, a stream of thousands of stars your eyes can see. Yet this is only a whisper. Behind the dust clouds are billions more, unseen, waiting in silence. You are standing inside a sea of light. If these calm space journeys help you rest, if they bring peace to your night, please like this video. Your small click helps others find their way here too. One sleepy soul at a time. Together, we drift deeper into the galaxy. But the Milky Way is more than beauty. Its arms twist, its heart hides shadows, and its stars carry secrets older than time. Tonight, we will journey into those mysteries. Shall we begin with the shape of our home? The Milky Way is shaped like a great spiral, a whirl of stars curling around a glowing center. But from Earth, inside its wide disk, it is hard to see the full pattern. Dust clouds block the view, and the stars blur together. For a long time, astronomers thought there were 4 main spiral arms. Later, they found the arms may be fewer, splitting and twisting in unexpected ways. Some fade into fragments, others wrap in hidden curls. The galaxy is not a perfect pinwheel. It is more like a living swirl of starlight, changing as it grows. Our own solar system lies between 2 of these arms, in a small, quiet spur. From here, we cannot see the full dance, only the stream of light across the night sky. Yet the spiral arms hold more than stars. They carry gas, dust, and glowing nurseries where new suns are born. They are rivers of creation flowing through the galaxy. When you look up at the Milky Way, you are really looking along one of these arms, seeing just a small stretch of a grand, endless curve. At the center of the Milky Way lies a bright, stretched bar of stars. It is not a smooth circle, but an elongated bridge crossing the core. This bar slowly turns, its gravity pulling gas and stars into new patterns. From above, you would see it shaping the inner spiral arms, guiding them like a silent hand. Over time, the bar has created new stars and even fed material toward the black hole at the heart. It is not only a shape, it is a living engine that stirs the galaxy's center. Around this bar is a bulge of stars, but not a simple sphere. Seen from the side, it looks like a peanut or an hourglass. Astronomers believe the bulge puffed upward as the bar buckled and bent over billions of years. This strange form shows that even in the core, gravity sculpts new designs. The Milky Way is not flat or simple. It is textured, layered, and alive with structures built over time. What we see as beauty is really the memory of countless motions, slow and patient, written in light. From Earth, we can never step outside the Milky Way. We see it from within, stretched across the sky like a glowing ribbon. To us it looks flat, but in truth it bends, warps, and twists far beyond our sight. Dust hides much of its form, and distance blurs the rest. Only through patient mapping and clever tools do astronomers reveal its hidden shape. Even now, we do not know the exact number of spiral arms, or how far the warp extends. The picture of our galaxy is still unfinished. But that mystery is part of its beauty. We live inside a story too large for our eyes to read. Every night, when you look up, you are gazing through layers of stars that stretch for thousands of light years. It is like standing in a forest and staring along endless rows of trees. You see the trunks in front, but the whole shape remains unseen. What lies beyond the visible? To answer that, we must look not only at shapes, but at time itself, and the stars that are older than the galaxy we call home. High above the bright disk of the Milky Way drift the oldest stars we know. They live in the halo, far from the spiral arms. These stars shine faintly, poor in metals, carrying the chemical memory of a younger universe. They may be more than 13 billion years old, born just after the first light of the cosmos. Their quiet glow is like a whisper from the dawn of time. Astronomers study them because they are fossils of light. Unlike younger stars, they show almost no heavy elements like iron or calcium. That means they were formed before the galaxy had time to create such elements in supernova. They are survivors of a wild age, long before the Milky Way had its elegant spiral form. To look at them is to gaze backward, into a time when the universe itself was still learning to shine. In astronomy, metals mean anything heavier than helium. The first stars had almost none. When we find a star with very low metals, we know it is ancient, a relic of the first generations. Some halo stars are so pure they carry less than 1/10,000th the iron of our sun. Their light tells us what the universe was like before galaxies matured. These stars act as a time machine. By reading their chemical fingerprints, astronomers can tell how many generations of stars came before. It is as if the galaxy kept diaries written in starlight. The oldest entries are simple, plain, almost empty. Later ones grow richer, filled with elements forged in stellar hearts. Each ancient, metal-poor star is not just a body of fire, but a record keeper, preserving the early story of creation in its glow. Some stars orbiting the Milky Way are even older than the Milky Way itself. These stars likely formed in smaller, ancient galaxies that were later swallowed. When the Milky Way pulled those galaxies apart, the stars remained, wandering in tilted orbits. They are strangers, but now they are part of our home. Their light began before our spiral arms ever curled. To imagine them is to think of travelers who walked before roads existed. They move slowly, high above the galactic plane, like spirits from an unfinished story. In their dim red glow, we glimpse a universe raw and untamed, when galaxies were just beginning to gather shape. These stars remind us that our galaxy is not a closed world. It is stitched from many smaller pieces, and some of those pieces come from the very first chapters of the cosmos. The earliest stars were giants, far larger than the sun. They lived short lives, burning fast and dying in explosions that scattered new elements into space. Without them, there would be no carbon for life, no oxygen to breathe, no iron for blood. Their deaths seeded the universe with the building blocks for all that came later. The ancient stars we see now are the children of that first fire. They still carry low amounts of metals, but just enough to show that others came before. By studying these faint elders, astronomers learn about a universe still finding its balance. A cosmos where light was young, and galaxies were still weaving themselves together. They are not only stars, they are the quiet bridge between the first age and our own. Every ancient star is like a storyteller, shining softly, carrying memories of a time before the Milky Way was whole. They remind us that our galaxy was not born in one moment, but stitched together slowly from many fragments. These stars drift above us, quiet witnesses to creation itself, and so we leave them glowing in the halo, patient lights that outlived their time. But our story does not end here, for if stars can be born and die, then the Milky Way is not only ancient, it is alive. What does it mean for a galaxy to keep making stars even now? That is where we drift next. Inside the galaxy, giant clouds of gas drift quietly. They are cold and dark, made mostly of hydrogen. For millions of years they float unseen, like shadows across the spiral arms. But within them, gravity begins to stir. The gas clumps together, pulled tighter and tighter. In these silent wombs, new stars are prepared. Some of these clouds stretch for hundreds of light years. They are so large that whole clusters of stars can be born within them. We call them molecular clouds, or stellar nurseries. They are the hidden gardens of the galaxy, places where silence gives way to light. What looks like empty darkness is, in truth, the beginning of fire. As gravity tightens its hold, regions inside the cloud collapse. The gas heats, spins, and forms a flat disk around a bright core. At the center, pressure grows until nuclear fusion begins. In that instant, a new star is born, glowing with light that will travel across the galaxy. The process is slow, patient, and silent. From our view, it is as if the cloud itself begins to glow from within. Small suns flicker to life, pushing away the dark. Each one is a new beginning, a fresh voice in the cosmic choir. Long before planets form, long before life exists, the star itself rises from shadow into fire. Not all stars are born in quiet. Sometimes a giant dies nearby in a great supernova. Its explosion sends shock waves rushing through space. These waves strike nearby clouds, squeezing them until they collapse and ignite new stars. One death becomes the trigger for many births. This is how the galaxy renews itself. Old stars give their elements back, scattering carbon, oxygen, and iron. Then, from that dust, fresh stars form. It is a cycle of endings and beginnings, a balance of silence and fire. Without supernova, the Milky Way would not be the rich, glowing swirl we see today. When young stars ignite, their light floods the clouds around them. Ultraviolet rays make the gas glow in blues, purples, and soft orange. From far away, the arms of the Milky Way sparkle with these glowing patches. They are the brightest signs of creation, marking where the galaxy is still alive and still growing. Every star you see in the night sky once rose from such a nursery. Even our own sun began in a cloud like this billions of years ago. These regions are scattered across the spiral arms like cosmic lanterns, lighting the path of the galaxy. To look at them is to see life's first fire. The Milky Way is still alive, still making stars even now. Each birth adds a new light to its spiral, a new chapter in its story. If you enjoy drifting through these quiet wonders, if they bring you peace at night, please like this video. Your small gesture keeps this galaxy of calm stories alive. But starbirth is only part of the story. Stars do not stay still. They move, circle, and drift in great patterns across the galaxy. Their motion shapes the spiral arms, the rotation, the rhythm of the Milky Way. Shall we follow them into their endless dance? The Sun, along with all the planets, is not standing still. It moves around the center of the Milky Way. This journey is so vast that one full orbit takes about 225 million years. Astronomers call this a galactic year. In all the history of Earth, only about 20 such orbits have passed. The dinosaurs, long ago, lived in a different place of this circle than where we are now. It reminds us that time in the galaxy moves slowly, almost beyond our imagination. When we think of calendars, we count days, months, and years. But a galactic year dwarfs them all. Mountains rise and fall, species are born and vanish, and even continents drift while the sun makes its slow way around the center. In that grand cycle, we are just at the start of our story. Every night, as you look at the sky, remember that you are moving too. Circling silently through a galaxy that spins on a timescale larger than human history itself. Unlike planets around the sun, stars in the Milky Way do not follow neat, perfect paths. Each one moves at its own pace, depending on how close it is to the galactic center. Stars near the middle rush quickly around the core, while those far away move more slowly. Yet, in a strange way, the galaxy does not break apart. The stars keep their places, guided by invisible forces. This motion creates the spiral arms, patterns that seem fixed, but are really waves of stars and gas passing through space together. From Earth, we cannot see this dance directly, but we can feel its rhythm in the way the galaxy holds together. Our sun drifts in and out of spiral arms, crossing bright regions and quiet gaps over millions of years. These arms are not solid structures. They are like moving traffic jams of light. Stars enter them, shine for a while, and leave again. The Milky Way is a pattern in motion, always changing, always flowing, never frozen in time. Our own sun is part of this cosmic dance. As it orbits the galactic center, it also bobs gently up and down, rising above the galactic plane and sinking back below. This slow wave takes tens of millions of years. Some scientists even wonder if this motion might influence life on Earth by changing how often we pass through dense star fields or encounter clouds of gas. Though the evidence is uncertain, it shows how deeply connected we are to the galaxy's movements. Imagine riding on a small boat in a vast ocean. The waves are so large and so slow that you barely notice them, yet they carry you across endless water. The sun's path is like that, steady, patient, and full of mystery. We are passengers on this journey, swaying through a galaxy that moves on scales too great to feel. Even as we sleep, even as we dream, we are drifting through a spiral sea of stars. The spiral arms of the Milky Way are not fixed trails of stars. They are waves of density that drift slowly through the disk. As the wave passes, gas and dust are compressed, and new stars flare into life. When the stars drift away, the pattern remains like a ripple moving through water. This is why the arms shine so brightly. They are places of constant renewal, always glowing with youth. Imagine driving on a long highway where traffic slows in certain spots. The cars move on, but the jam itself lingers, shifting forward at its own speed. The spiral arms are just like that. They are traffic jams of light, where stars come and go but the wave survives. From afar, the Milky Way looks steady and balanced. But inside, it is a restless swirl, shaped by time, motion, and the quiet rhythm of gravity itself. The galaxy is not a silent picture. It is a moving song. Stars circle in endless orbits. Arms ripple like waves. The sun sways gently above and below the disk. Each motion adds to a rhythm that has lasted for billions of years. We live inside that rhythm, carried without ever feeling it. But motion alone cannot explain why the galaxy holds together. By the laws of Newton, the stars at the edge should fly away into the dark. And yet they stay, bound in place by something unseen. What hidden force keeps the Milky Way whole? To answer, we must look beyond the visible, into the skeleton of shadows that shapes the galaxy. By all logic, the Milky Way should not hold together. The stars at its edges spin too quickly, moving so fast that they ought to fly off into the dark. But they remain, bound to the spiral like beads on a string. For many years, astronomers puzzled over this strange motion. The laws of Newton predicted one thing. The galaxy itself revealed another. The solution came in whispers of something unseen. If there was more mass than we could detect, if something invisible weighed the galaxy down, then the stars could stay in place. This was the first clue to dark matter. Not shining, not glowing, not even reflecting light, yet still pulling with its gravity. It is as if the galaxy has a skeleton made of shadows, holding everything in place. Around the galaxy stretches a great halo of dark matter. We cannot see it with our eyes, nor capture it with telescopes, but we know it is there because of the way stars move, the way galaxies bend light, the way clusters of galaxies stay together. This halo is vast, far larger than the spiral of stars we can see. It is like a silent shell surrounding the Milky Way, shaping its every motion. The halo also holds ancient stars and globular clusters, but these are just crumbs compared to the unseen mass. In truth, the halo outweighs the bright part of the galaxy many times over. To think of it is to imagine a shadow larger than the light, a quiet presence that keeps the Milky Way whole. Without it, the spiral would scatter like dust in a storm. With it, the galaxy turns, patient and eternal. The Milky Way is not held together by gravity alone. It also breathes with magnetism. Invisible magnetic fields stretch across its disk, rising into the halo and weaving through clouds of gas. They are weak compared to Earth's fields, but on galactic scales, they shape the way matter flows. Gas clouds align along them. Cosmic rays twist and bend as they travel. Even dust spins and glows faintly in response. To imagine these fields is to see invisible strings drawn across the spiral. They are not visible to our eyes, but astronomers trace them with radio telescopes, mapping faint arcs that loop above the disk. In this way, the Milky Way hums softly with magnetism, like a harp played by unseen hands. It is one more reminder that what we see is not the whole story. Beneath the glow, the galaxy has a hidden skeleton of forces that shape its life. Every star carries a fingerprint. Inside its light are patterns of elements: hydrogen, helium, iron, carbon, and more. By studying these chemical signatures, astronomers can trace where a star was born and what it has experienced. Some stars are rich in heavy elements, forged in countless supernovae. Others are poor and simple, belonging to an earlier age. Together, these fingerprints form a kind of map of galactic history. This map tells us that the Milky Way is stitched together from many smaller galaxies. Each merger left behind its stars, carrying their own chemical code. By comparing these codes, scientists reconstruct ancient events, hidden collisions, slow absorptions, and long-forgotten streams. Chemistry becomes not just science, but storytelling. The light of stars speaking in the language of memory. The Milky Way glows with billions of stars, but its true weight is hidden. Dark matter and magnetism shape every orbit, every ripple of light. Without them, the galaxy would scatter, its arms flying loose into the night. With them, it endures, spinning slowly, patiently, for billions of years. The skeleton of shadows keeps us whole, yet even this skeleton is only part of the story. If the galaxy has hidden bones, it also has a beating heart. At its very center lies a power greater than millions of suns, a silent giant pulling everything into its embrace. What is this dark heart at the core of our home? That is where we drift next. At the very center of the Milky Way lies something we cannot see directly. A supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A. It has a mass of more than 4 million suns, yet it fits within a space smaller than Mercury's orbit. This invisible giant pulls stars into fast orbits, whipping them around at breathtaking speeds. From Earth, astronomers have watched stars near the core move in tight loops, proof of the gravity that cannot be denied. And yet, despite its power, the black hole is quiet now. It waits in the shadows, feeding only on small amounts of gas and dust that fall too close. But long ago, it may have been far brighter, blazing like a quasar, releasing energy across the galaxy. For now, it is a silent conductor, guiding the dance of millions of stars around it. The galaxy's beating heart does not shine, but its pull is everywhere. Although Sagittarius A sleeps today, there are clues that it once burned with immense power. Stretching far above and below the galaxy are giant gamma-ray bubbles, discovered only recently. These structures, tens of thousands of light years across, may be the scars of past outbursts from the black hole. Like smoke rising from an old fire, they show us that the dark heart was once fierce and radiant. These echoes remind us that galaxies change over time. A core that now looks calm may once have been violent. If Sagittarius A had roared like a quasar, it would have outshone the stars themselves. Today, we see only the afterglow, ghostly traces of energy drifting across space. To imagine our galaxy lit by such a beacon is to picture a different Milky Way, one wrapped around a heart of flame. Near the core, stars live dangerous lives. They orbit at incredible speeds, completing full loops in just a few years. Some are caught so close that they risk being torn apart. Gas and dust fall inward, heating to millions of degrees, glowing with X-rays as they spiral toward the event horizon. Then, in silence, they vanish, crossing the line from which no light escapes. To watch these stars is to glimpse the true strength of gravity. They are not only ornaments of the core, they are evidence. Their frantic motion shows that something massive and invisible is there, a presence too heavy to deny. The heart of the Milky Way is not empty. It is a trap of light and time, pulling everything into its hidden embrace. Black holes are not always silent. When too much gas or dust falls inward, the material forms a glowing disk. This disk spins faster and faster, heating until it shines brighter than millions of stars. For a time, the quiet core roars with light. Jets of energy may shoot from its poles, racing into space for thousands of light years. Such moments are rare, but they remind us that even hidden giants can awaken. Today, Sagittarius A is calm. It swallows only small scraps that drift too near. But the possibility remains that one day it may flare again, lighting the galaxy's heart like a torch. For now, the silence feels eternal, though in cosmic time, even silence can break. The dark heart of our galaxy is not just an end. It is a balance, sometimes quiet, sometimes a flame, shaping everything around it. The black hole at the center does not shine, yet it holds the galaxy together. It is the silent conductor of a cosmic orchestra, guiding stars, gas, and dust with its pull. Without it, the heart of the Milky Way would drift apart. Its darkness is a strange kind of gift, a gravity that gives shape to everything. If you wish to keep exploring such mysteries with us, please subscribe. Your presence helps this calm journey continue, reaching others who long for quiet wonder. But even this great heart is not the whole story. Beyond the core, high above the disk, lies a halo of stars and streams. They are the remnants of long-forgotten galaxies, drifting quietly around our own. What secrets do they carry? And what do they reveal about the Milky Way's past? That is where we drift next. Far above the bright spiral of the Milky Way lies a quiet sphere of ancient light. This is the halo, and within it drift globular clusters, balls of hundreds of thousands of stars, packed tightly together. These clusters are among the oldest objects in the galaxy, more than 12 billion years old. Their stars shine faint and red, carrying the memory of an age when the Milky Way was still young. To gaze at a globular cluster is to see the galaxy's childhood. These stars are survivors, older than the spiral arms, older than the bar at the core. They move in slow, tilted paths around the galaxy, orbiting far beyond the crowded disk. They remind us that the Milky Way is not only a flat swirl of stars, it is surrounded by a sphere of ancient guardians, still circling after billions of years. The halo is not empty space. Across it stretch long streams of stars like rivers of light. These streams are the remains of small galaxies that the Milky Way swallowed long ago. As they were pulled apart by gravity, their stars spread out into thin trails. Now they arc gracefully across the sky, silent records of ancient collisions. Each stream is a story of survival. Though the galaxies that once held them are gone, their stars still circle, bound to the Milky Way's pull. By mapping these streams, astronomers can trace the history of our galaxy's growth. The halo becomes a diary, written in starlight, of every meal the Milky Way has ever taken. We are not only a single galaxy, we are a gathering of many, stitched together by time. Beyond the spiral arms, far from the glowing core, drift rogue stars. These lonely travelers move on paths tilted and twisted, some thrown out by violent events, others carried from small galaxies that merged long ago. A few may even wander so far that they escape the Milky Way entirely, drifting alone through the dark between galaxies. These quiet wanderers remind us that the galaxy is not a closed shell. It leaks and breathes, trading stars with the cosmos around it. Planets may circle some of these exiled suns, carrying the possibility of worlds adrift in endless night. To think of them is to imagine islands of light moving alone, tiny sparks carried by gravity's hand into the silence beyond our home. The halo is also home to companions, small dwarf galaxies that circle the Milky Way like faint moons. The most famous are the Magellanic Clouds, visible from the southern hemisphere as hazy patches of light. These galaxies are far smaller than our own, yet they carry millions of stars. Slowly, they are being pulled apart, their material stretched into long tidal streams that feed our galaxy. These companions remind us that the Milky Way is not alone. It has always lived in a community, joined to its neighbors by threads of gravity. The halo becomes a meeting place where galaxies touch, merge, and trade their stars. In time, many of these dwarfs will vanish, swallowed into the larger spiral. But their stories will live on, written in the faint trails they leave behind. The halo shows us that the Milky Way is more than a single island of stars. It is a gathering, a family built from clusters, streams, dwarfs, and wanderers. It is shaped not only by what it creates, but by what it takes in. Each faint star above the disk is a reminder of old unions, patient mergers that stitched the galaxy together. But the Milky Way itself is not alone in the cosmos. Beyond the halo lies a greater family, the local group of galaxies, with Andromeda as our great sibling and rival. One day, we will meet in a collision that will reshape the heavens. What will it mean for two spirals to become one? That is the story we drift into next. The Milky Way does not float alone in space. It belongs to a small neighborhood called the Local Group, made of more than 50 galaxies. Some are large spirals like Andromeda and Triangulum. Others are tiny dwarfs, faint smudges of light drifting near us. Together, they orbit a common center of gravity, bound by unseen dark matter. In this family, the Milky Way is one of the giants. Andromeda is our equal, a great spiral of stars nearly twice as massive. Triangulum is smaller, but still a graceful whirl of light. The rest are companions, circling quietly. To imagine the local group is to see not a single galaxy, but a cluster. A village of stars where every member moves slowly in relation to the others. The Andromeda Galaxy is the Milky Way's great sibling and rival. It lies about 2.5 million light-years away, yet in the night sky it already shows as a faint smudge to the human eye. Larger than our galaxy, with more stars, it shines as the most distant object you can see without a telescope. Andromeda and the Milky Way are on a collision course, set to meet in about 4 billion years. To think of this is to stretch your imagination across time. By then, the sun will still be burning, Earth may still circle, and the night sky will change into a storm of colliding stars. Our galaxy and Andromeda will merge, swirling into a new shape, perhaps an enormous elliptical galaxy. For now, Andromeda waits in silence, a shining reminder that our story is not only about the past, but also about the future. Around the Milky Way and Andromeda drift dozens of dwarf galaxies. Some are so faint they were only discovered in recent years. They are fragile, with only a few million stars, yet they are important to the local group's story. Many of them are slowly being pulled apart, their stars stripped into long tidal streams. In time, they will vanish into their larger neighbors, their light added to the glow of giants. These small galaxies are like sparks around a campfire, tiny but part of the whole. Without them, the local group would be incomplete. They are survivors of an earlier universe, the building blocks that came together to form spirals like our own. To see them is to glimpse how galaxies grow, not in isolation, but through the quiet gathering of many little ones into something greater. Among the local group's members, the Triangulum Galaxy is small compared to Andromeda or the Milky Way. Yet it is still a graceful spiral of stars. Some astronomers believe it may once have passed close to Andromeda, shaping its arms. Others suggest it could join the Milky Way-Andromeda merger in the far future, becoming part of the great new galaxy that will form. Triangulum may be small, but its place in the family is important. This reminds us that no galaxy is too small to matter. Each one, whether giant or faint, adds to the tapestry of the local group. Together, they are bound by gravity, sharing their stars and shaping each other over billions of years. The Triangulum's soft, spiral glow, faint in the sky, is a quiet reminder that we belong to something larger than ourselves. A family where even the smallest voices sing in harmony. The local group is not frozen in time. The Milky Way and Andromeda are drawing closer every second, pulled together by gravity. In 4 billion years, their stars will mix, their arms will twist, and a new galaxy will be born. It is a future we will never see, yet it is written already in the motion of the heavens. If you enjoy imagining these grand stories, please comment below. What do you think our new galaxy should be called when 2 spirals become one? But before that future arrives, we return to our present. For our place in the Milky Way is not only shaped by distant galaxies, it is also defined by the quiet corner we call home. Where in this vast spiral do we belong? That is the question we drift into next. Every atom in your body was forged in the heart of a star. The carbon in your cells, the oxygen in your lungs, the iron in your blood. All of it was born in explosions that scattered elements across the galaxy. You are not separate from the Milky Way. You are part of it, a living piece of its long story. When you breathe, you are breathing atoms that once drifted through clouds of dust and fire. This truth is both humbling and comforting. We often look at the stars as something distant, unreachable, but they are already within us, glowing quietly in every heartbeat. You carry the history of the galaxy in your body. When you close your eyes at night, you are returning, in a way, to the very light that made you. The Milky Way is not only above you, it is also within you. The galaxy turns slowly, patiently, as it has for billions of years. Stars circle the center, arms ripple with light, and the halo drifts quietly around. While you sleep, while you dream, the Milky Way keeps moving. It does not pause for us, yet it carries us always. We are passengers, held gently in its spiral arms. This motion is almost impossible to feel, but it is real. The Earth spins, the Sun circles, and the galaxy itself drifts through the larger universe. Every night, when you lie down, you are carried on this endless drift. The stars above you are not fixed points, but companions in a shared journey. The Milky Way is a cradle of motion, rocking us softly through the dark. As this journey ends, remember that the galaxy never stops. It is always turning, always creating, always glowing with new light. If you would like to keep traveling with us, if you would like more calm nights filled with gentle stories of stars and history, please subscribe. Your presence keeps this path alive, helping others discover these quiet journeys too. Subscribing is like adding one more star to this growing sky of voices. Together, we make a constellation of listeners, connected across the world by our love of wonder. As you drift into rest tonight, know that you are not alone. The Milky Way turns above, and we turn with it, all part of the same story. Now it is time to rest. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and let the galaxy keep watch. The stars above you are ancient guardians, patient lights that will shine until morning. You do not need to travel farther tonight. The Milky Way will keep turning, its arms wrapping gently around you like a blanket of light. Sleep comes easiest when we let go, when we trust the night to carry us. The galaxy has carried life for billions of years, and it carries you now. Drift softly into dreams, knowing that you are part of something vast, quiet, and eternal. When morning comes, the spiral will still be there, waiting to shine again.